Do you ever spend an episode where they have like a guest voice actor come in for a role that you spend literally the entire episode like, where have I heard that voice before? And then by the time you realize it, you're like, oh come on, I gotta figure that out earlier. It's like so obvious once you figure it out. It's like that's me in this episode. And okay, this is Amphibia. This is episode 23B, a caravan named Desire. So, well, this isn't it. This definitely, in terms of like the episode itself, it's a good episode. I mean, God, when I compare like episodes now, I gotta like think of like, okay, where are we in this? Because again, I'm thinking the Sylvia episode with the bow, that's like the bottom. And so this one, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not. I mean, there are a lot of funny moments. I definitely got a few laughs out of this. I just remember coming out of it and I'm like, wow, that was really cool. But, huh. All right, it's like I was like, okay, that was an episode. Like, well, the last one with Polly, at least they came out of it with like, holy crap, what the heck was that? This one I'm like, okay, this is fun. I mean, again, it's kind of like the trope because it's a hop pop based episode because hop pop. Let's dive into it. So it all starts with the family going through the dry swamp, which is like another desert, and it seems like everything's going well. And even Hop Pop's like, "You want to hear a story about the dry swamp in this scroll I have?" And then he goes into full on acting because, as we have seen in the past couple in the season one, he's a failed actor. Like he had the book. So you're a failed actor. He even had an acting degree on his wall in one episode. So this one he is doing his acting, and yeah, it's about what you would expect. It's very dramatic, very, very brooding, and very dramatic. Yeah. So of course, all this is interrupted when they get attacked by a sand snake. I don't know if that's what they actually are called. I just like sand snake, and all the while they get so during this they then get rescued by this lady who has a caravan, obviously, and apparently it's an acting troupe or trope. It's an acting trope. So they go around and they perform, and it's like so kind of like that. And so the lady's name is Renee. Yeah, it's Renee, and I literally spent the entire episode trying to figure out who it was, and even when they showed her name in the credits, I'm like, okay, who's so the voice actress they have for Renee is Susan Egon, and I'm like, where have I heard that name before? And so IMDb, she was the voice of Meg in the movie Hercules, Meg in Hercules, and it's the voice is the freaking same. Like literally you can like a little bit of a difference in like tone, but like it's mainly the same. And also she also played Rose in Steven Universe, if that also helps fans. Like so it's this is crazy. So pretty much, yeah. So this is an acting trope that they go around. So since this is obviously acting with plays and all that, Hop Pop gets excited and wants to be a part of it. And Sprig and Polly get intrigued, but Anne Anne pretty much sidelines herself in this episode. Like she literally they literally have her sitting in a room just doing a puzzle piece for the majority of this episode, and like they cut back to her a few times. But even then, it's like, okay, yeah, it's just play for laughs because we get another flashback of Anne in like the human world, but this time it's her as a little kid. Got the cute little eyes or the big eyes. I was caught off guard by it at first. I'm like, okay, that's creepy, but that's adorable. And so the reason why they did this is because Anne hates plays. She hates acting. She hates the whole thing because when she was a kid, she was acting in this play that revolved around teeth. I don't know. Like, she's dressed as a tooth. The rest of the class are dressed up as teeth. I'm like, okay. But then she's like dancing. Then she trips, falls, causes a chain reaction, which eventually leads to everything being set on fire. That really got real dark. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see why Anne doesn't like acting, because, you know, next she doesn't want to cause a freaking genocide. So she pretty much, yes, like I said, she sidelined herself and spends most of the episode trying to do a puzzle piece, all the while Hop Hop auditions, and at first he fails, but then he, like, stands up for himself and, like, says, this is what I've been wanting to do, this is, you know, it's like, it's my dream, it's a dream, and I lost, and for a time it was gone, and I lost it, but now I have a chance, and it's still, like, obviously, that's when Renee's like, that's what I'm looking for, you're in, baby, and so Hop Hop eventually becomes the lead role for all the different plays that they're doing, and Sprig and Polly are doing their thing, are also trying to get into the crew with, like, the kids that their age, and Sprig is having trouble getting with them because they are method acting. I love that jab. It's like, wow, he's taking his role very seriously, and Hop Hop's like, of course he is, he's method acting, and it's like, oh nice, we have a little jab at method acting, and so Polly gets in literally no sweat, like, she embraces a character, and I like she's just so petty, like, she literally just ditches Sprig, just like, yeah, I'm with them now, boop, and so Sprig tries many different ways to get in with the group, but he fails miserably each time because he's not embracing himself, expressing himself, actually being who he was. You know, that stuff. And all the while, you know, the caravan travels around and they are doing these plays, and it seems like it's going pretty well. You know, Hop Hop is actually getting praise for this, and I was like, where are we gonna go with this? And we find out that this whole caravan is actually a ruse. It's a hoax. It's a con, because Renee actually is stealing from every town they go to. Like, she breaks into every bank in a town that they go to and steal all the money. So Hop Hop finds out about this, and at first he doesn't know what to do, and he is very he you know, he doesn't know what to do, because he's like, on one hand it's bad, that's bad, but on the other hand I am getting to be a lead actor. But eventually he comes to his senses and, like, blows the whistle on the whole thing. Like, literally in the middle of their act, they like, in the middle of the play, Hop Hop, like, reveals that they're being robbed, to the town that they're being robbed, and even, like, I love the guy, I was like, that's not in the script, dude. So Renee tries to escape, and we have this fun little chase. There's a Wilhelm scream. I was like, oh, finally got a Wilhelm scream. All right. It's a quick battle. Like, it's pretty much what you would expect, you know, Renee at the front, Hop Hop in the back, having to get up to her. Then, of course, the Sand Snake shows up and takes and causes disruption on the card, and Renee, Hop Hop, Renee lands, like, Hop Hop's like, I got you, Renee, and then Renee lands, like, I want to say, like, 20 feet behind him, and he's like, well, I miscalculated that, and then the bag of cash lands on Renee as well. I thought it killed her at first, but I'm like, no, it's a kid's show, so, they arrest her, and then there's even a little joke with the cops, like, so you had no idea, so you had no part of this at all, you had no idea in advance, you just found out, and then and it's like, Hop Hop's like, yes, officer, that's exactly what happened, and then Anne and Sprig come in, and it's like, I want to join, what? They're like, and like, I told you not to go through with it, and Hop Hop's like, Anne, like, yeah, it's so funny, because I'm like, I feel bad for Anne in this episode, because she's just trying to do this puzzle piece, everyone's coming in, Hop Hop came in, like, and Renee's actually stealing from people, and then Sprig and Polly come in, well, I mean, Sprig came in and he's like, I need to get in with the group, Polly usually comes in, like, Anne, how you doing? That was the funniest, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, there's funny moments in this episode. It just didn't stick with me afterwards. I'm like, again, the truck stop Polly thing with like when she went Super Saiyan, I guess. No. I know it's not full on Dragon Ball, but like it kind of did feel like Dragon Ball with that. But I mean, that moment stayed in my head. Like that moment, like this episode, there wasn't really a moment where I'm like, whoa, that was crazy or hilarious or God, I'm lying on the ground laughing. Like the last couple of episodes, there was something like that, or at least something interesting to add to the plot, to the overarching plot. Like in the episode where they find the factory, that was pretty interesting. That was pretty intriguing, and obviously we still have continuity with that. I mean, actually, we haven't seen the mech. Since the Ant Hunter episode, we have not seen the mech. I mean, it's only been 2 episodes, so I mean, the mech could show up. I mean, it'd be funny if the mech just like one random episode, the mech just shows up and it's like, what the heck? Wait, that thing's been following us this whole time? I felt like it's been I felt like we were being followed early on, but then it just kind of drifted away. Like, they're gonna drop like a joke like that sometime around. And yeah. But yeah, I mean, in terms of guest stars, they've already had a few cool guest stars. I mean, heck, you have Troy Baker as your villain. I'm interested to see when Sasha and Grimes show up. And again, judging by the intro, Sasha and Anne are enemies. Even though the way they left off, I felt like Sasha was really... I feel like Sasha, after what she did at the end of season 1, would try to be more redeeming, or at least try to figure out what her next move is, like what she should do after everything that she did to Anne. She's like, we had to fight. The fact that I had to fight her, and now I'm alone with you, Grime. What do I do now? It's like maybe that's what this is gonna be. Are we gonna? Oh God. I'm getting full on Avatar vibes now, because it's like in that one, in season 2, what was kind of Zuko's main thread in season 2? He was trying to figure out what to do. He was on the run. He had no idea. He had this one person with him, and it's like, what is he gonna do? And then we find out at the end of the season. So I mean, obviously Sasha and Anne are gonna fight again. That's inevitable. I mean, freaking, it's in the intro. It's gotta happen. So I wonder if when they fight, Sasha will I'm guessing Sasha's going to pick a path, and she'll probably stay with it, even if it's a path that Anne is not gonna agree with. But I mean, you gotta wonder if they are just worried, if they are still focused on getting home. Like, I feel like for Anne, obviously, she is focusing on getting home. I mean, hence the journey that they're going on right now. But Sasha, I mean, I wonder what Sasha's thinking about. I mean, and then of course Marcy. We still haven't seen Marcy. Where the heck is Marcy in all this? Okay. I've really been going on for too long. Alright, that's it for this one. I'm like I said, this has already been a fun second season. In terms of episodes, this one is the weakest of the season so far. Not the weakest of the whole series, of the season. I'm not, and I mean, if you guys, for those who really like this episode, I can see why. I definitely got, like I said, there's funny moments in this episode. It's just, there wasn't a moment where I was like, wow. That's pretty much me. I mean, I guess the dark memory of Anne as a kid, that's probably my wow moment, but I'm like, that was early on. Usually, Alright. Okay. And done.